Welcome back to the Barca Breakdown. My name is Yusuf, and I'm here with my co-host, Adam.
Hey guys, we got the Champions League starting, Yus. The place of so many memories of just such bad despair. I can't wait to see what happens here because we just watched the Bayern Munich RB Leipzig game, and this is it, right? We're coming up this midweek. We have FC Barcelona at the Camp Nou with fans for the first time in 40,000 fans, and God knows how long, right? And Bayern Munich are coming, and we all immediately think back to the 8-2.
Don't remind me, dude.
Right, that awful 8-2 game. But there's a little bit of a different feeling around this game, because if you remember on the 8-2, we had lost at Anfield, we'd lost to Roma. Sure. We had felt so bad that it seemed inevitable we were going to get just torn apart, right? There was that Lyon game after the COVID break where, Messi scored 2 awesome goals, and we felt a little bit positive. But for the most part, that last Bayern game, we knew this team was old, decaying, wasn't going to fight. This time, there's no Messi. We got the magic touch of Depay. We got Pedri.
No Griezmann.
Right? We got no Griezmann. There's some new blood in here who haven't played and who weren't a part of the team against Bayern in that 8-2. And so, everything's possible.
You're totally right. This is a whole new...
We're probably going to lose, though, right? I think that needs to be said.
Yeah.
As much as I'm confident there's a possibility we get away with a draw, I mean... Man, Alphonso Davies connecting with Lewandowski and Sané and the other players in that Bayern attack. It's so scary. We don't have Dest. Yeah. We don't have Alba, right? I mean, Alphonso Davies is just going to run out.
No, okay. You're take a deep breath, Adam. I understand that this is not exactly what we hoped for when we drew the Champions League group, right? We did not expect getting Bayern Munich as the first game especially. It's going to be tough, like you're saying. We have so many new variables coming in, lost a lot of players, gained a bunch of new players. We haven't even seen Luuk De Jong.
We lost the greatest player of all time, Lionel Messi, Copa America champion, who you hate.
Yes.
But here's the thing. We just watched this RB Leipzig game, right? And Bayern won 4-1 at the end. And, they scored 4 goals, right, against RB Leipzig, a team that has now been like the second or third or fourth best team in Germany for the last few seasons, a team that Bayern has actually poached a lot of talent from, like they used to do to Dortmund. And they kind of ran away with it 4-1, but the scoreline was definitely flattering. Like, there was at least 3 or 4 goals in there that Leipzig, I thought, should have scored if they had a clinical player like we have in Depay. And so... defensively, Bayern aren't that impressing me that much. I also thought the midfield against RB Leipzig, the Bayern's midfield really wasn't dominating, wasn't holding the ball. Oftentimes, RB Leipzig had chances to run on them, had chances to, create from the midfield and get the ball forward. And so, the Bayern defense and midfield are not what's scaring me. It's just that front attack. It's just Alphonso Davies coming,
but if they can get
right?
the ball there, that's really what matters, right? At the end of the day, we're talking about this game, and what's stopping Bayern?
Koeman. Right? That's the big issue, right? I think if we look at it, it's just I'm not sure if Koeman is the coach right now, and I think we all have this feeling, who's going to set us up to succeed.
No, we already have we've already had our ill faith towards his decision making, his coaching, his tactical mindset.
But here's the thing, there's some new news, right? And as we go and focus on what Barca can do in this game and what's going to lead us to hopefully get a draw, a pipe dream to get a victory.
Sure.
We need to set up our team well to counterattack that Bayern offense, and we have just been handed with an Alba injury and a Dest injury in this international break, like we talked about in our last video here. And so there are reports that Alba is getting warmed up, that he is, he's playing with the team, training, so he might be available, but Dest seems like certainly will not be available. And so then that makes you think, well, Koeman and Laporta seem to have talked a lot this summer and even the first few weeks of the season, and Laporta is really wanting us to go with that more Cruyff 4-3-3 lineup that Barca is so famous for. But with this situation, with us being without Alba possibly and Dest definitely, do you think we're going to see the 3-5-2 from Koeman? Because I could easily see, right, Piqué, Lenglet, Araujo as a back 3, and then for the wingbacks you could have Minguez on the left side, which he used to play with Barca B, and then Roberto on the right side, right? Then our midfield of Pedri, Busquets, Frenkie de Jong, and then up front you might have Depay and Luuk De Jong or Braithwaite, but Braithwaite also might be hurt. But what do you see? Do you think we're going to come out with a 3-5-2, 4-3-3? How is Koeman going to set us up to succeed here?
Well, he's not, so that's number one. But in reality, right, I think our biggest fault at Barcelona, and we've seen over the last year especially, is our defense.
Yep. So
against a team like Bayern Munich who can attack and create, and they have good wings, they have good attackers, I think we need to enforce our backline with a 3-5-2. Now, on top of that, I really have no faith in Sergio Roberto coming in and providing very much offense and clearly no defense. We've seen him time and time again fail at preventing attackers from breaking our defensive lines. So I don't think with that reinforcement, if we have Mingueza / Roberto, or we have Mingueza and Alba if he's fit, then I still think we need that 3-back line, because then we can shift Mingueza to the back, or we still have plenty of defenders still.
Eric Garcia,
right. PK, Lenglet, apparently MTT after that whole discussion that we mentioned before.
And Araujo,
of course.
Because I do feel like, Lewandowski poses a threat aerially, and I do feel like Araujo has the best chance to kind of defend against that. So I think I agree with you that we're going to go with a 3-5-2. I think that is probably our best bet to, to put up a good fight against Bayern. I do think that our game is going to really depend on Frenkie de Jong, Pedri, and Depay, which I feel like every game we're having this season really depends on those three if they're going to get it going and get us goals. So what do you think? Like, if you had to predict a score for this game, what would you expect the end score to be?
It's hard because I think, as we saw today, RB Leipzig, I always mess that up. They had a hard time in the second half keeping Bayern out. And I think Barcelona has a similar issue. And so I think we're going to fall short in the second half, and it's going to create some turmoil. Could be 5-1, honestly.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
It could be. If we fall apart like we normally do and Koeman does not make those
changes, good subs,
it's going to be bad, right? But on the flip side, if I'm going to think a little more positively, if we can bolster that back line and Koeman makes really good decisions, we could come out of this with a 0-0, and I'd be totally okay with that.
No, there's going to be some goals. I predict it's probably going to be
I said a positive.
I think it's going to be a 3-2 for Bayern. I think we're going to see a lot of goals. Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of goals scored. I think we'll have a chance to put away a 1 or 2.
I'd be more than happy to see that fight.
Well, me too. I mean, that's an entertaining game. And I think what's really going to be key here is how are the baggage that both teams have going to come into this game, right? Because we all remember 2015, Bayern, Barcelona in the semifinals of the Champions League, right? Messi had that one very, very famous game. And then the leg at in Germany, Bayern came back almost, took away that tie. And then we got the 8-2, right? And so a lot of the baggage from the Barcelona side is not there because not many of these players were involved definitely in that semifinals. And the 8-2, there is some new blood. So my question to you is, like, how do you think both teams are going to come into this mentally? Do you think Barca at the Camp Nou, without too many players who remember these bad appearances, do you think we're going to be able to fight? Or do you think we're going to be like cowering and worried and scared of Bayern?
Oh, I think we're going to come out with a fight. I 100% believe that, like you're saying. The baggage thing is not so much there. Messi is not there to relive those moments. Griezmann lived some of that, but he's gone.
Pedri's new on this team.
New. Busquets is really the only one there that I would think, and PK, that would really... Yeah. Oh, Alba, don't remind me. Hopefully, we've talked about this in the past. Alba falls short in some of these big games. That's going to be the hard part, especially if he's coming back from an injury. I don't know, man. Damn.
Well, I think at the end of the day, I think Depay, right? Like, that's what's so cool about this situation. Sure. We had to lose Messi. We've said a lot about that. Of course, we're all super sad except for Yus. But, Depay never played with Messi. He doesn't have all that baggage. Pedri's got this new blood. Frenkie de Jong, I feel like, is also young and confident. Sure. And so I do think, some of the big leaders in terms of offensive production on this team aren't going to come in here cowering and scared. Yeah. I do worry about PK, Lenglet, Alba, some of those old memories, some of the, prone to making defensive errors, especially when you have just one of the most clinical players I've ever seen in Lewandowski come up, right? You give him one chance, he's going to score. And we have had so many games this season and last season where there's, a few chances in that first 20 minutes for the opposing team, and we were like, oh my God, if a better team plays this, we're going to let up a goal. This is that better team.
This is very
and so
true.
It should be interesting to see there, whether or not we're able to get those flutters away early. And then this Bayern team, I think you have to come in just really with a lot of confidence, right? I mean, they beat the team before the international break 5-0. They just beat one of their top rivals, RB Leipzig, 4-1. They've seen that Barca, have that draw early on in the season, and they got to come in looking for blood, and I think they're going to come in really aggressive early on. I think Alphonso Davies has to be sitting there just like, oh, man, I'm going to tear apart this defense. And so it's going to be a challenge to see what happens here. I mean, it's really going to go on Koeman to set us up to succeed, to make sure that we have, enough defensive cover for all these players who are going to come out as bombing. And then, what we need to see is really Depay come out early and show that he has a chance to score some goals. We need to see Pedri and Frenkie de Jong figuring out how to make space and how to draw defenders away so that one of those two can make some runs and incisive passes.
But I think at the end of the day, what you're saying here is this team is capable of a lot. And we agree. We have a lot of young talent. But at the end of the day, really, what is Koeman going to do?
Yeah.
And that's been a question we've struggled with over the last season and the beginning of this season. We drew against the one of 3 games, right, of the already, and there was times where we didn't look so good. Bayern just came off that 4-1 victory away.
But we have more rest.
Agreed.
Right? That's one thing you got to take into account here, right? Bayern just had a very physically demanding game today, and we saw that game. It was not easy for Bayern Munich. And so we do come into it with like 2.5 weeks of rest. Yeah. We have, Coutinho, who was playing a friendly a few days ago with the Barca, players who weren't on international break, so he could make an appearance. There are some. Luuk De Jong is also a new player, and Koeman's really been hyping up his aerial threat. We've seen so far in this season and in the preseason that Depay is really good at putting in corner kicks or free kicks for someone to head in. So there are a few, new tricks up our sleeve, right?
Sure.
Even though Bayern Munich played with Coutinho, he was on their team to win that treble. They haven't seen how Koeman's going to use him with Coutinho and Pedri and Frenkie de Jong. They haven't seen Luuk De Jong on this Barca team. So there is some chance here for Koeman to pull out some surprises. I'm cautiously pessimistic, to be honest. Like, I really think we're going to have a hard time winning one. But, hey, it's Barca. It's the Camp Nou. The fans are going to be there. I think, it's all up in the air. It's going to be really hard for us to keep them out. But, hey, let's pray we get a win.
Yep, I totally agree. And, coming to this Tuesday with the Champions League, I hope you're all tuning in because we're going to have a post-match video.
Yes.
Of course, as always, hit that like and subscribe.
Yes. Thank you guys so much. Let us know in the thoughts. What do you guys think is going to happen? What can we predict here for the score? What lineup, 3-5-2, 4-3-3? What do you guys think we'll see? Thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.